going to be using my Bowdabra to make my bows. And I'm sure that I do it different than what you may do it or how anybody else might do it using the Bowdabra, but this is what works for me. So I'm going to be using some of this ribbon, and I got this from Hobby Lobby, and it was 50% off because it was Christmas. So I'm going to be using this red and black buffalo checked with the deer on there, and this is 2.5 inches wide, and it is wired ribbon. So I'll be using that. And then I also got this from Hobby Lobby. It's also 2.5 inches wide, and it's got sort of like this Christmas, I don't know, it looks kind of like a Christmas tree in a way, like a swirly, I don't know. But I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to be using this ribbon from Hobby Lobby. It's 1.5 inches, and it's the red glitter wired edge ribbon. I'm also going to be using the black glitter wired edge ribbon. It's also 1.5 inches wide. And then I'm also going to be using the gold, which is also 1.5 inches wide. So, okay. Now, I may do this different than everybody else, but this is what works best for me. So, I'm using my cutting mat, and I'm using it to help me measure, because it's got the ruler on here. And I take my Bowdabra, and I set it down on my mat to where this little, I don't know, spot right here in the Bowdabra, I want it to line up with my number at the 10-inch mark. So I'm going to be taking this ribbon right here with the little swirly design on it, and I went ahead and cut the dovetail on it. So you can do that if you want, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just cut your ribbon at an angle if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off with 9.5 inch tails for my bow. So all I'm doing is measuring 9.5 inches, and I'm just pinching it in the middle. And then I'm going to kind of just twist the ribbon, and I'm putting it down in my Bowdabra. It just holds it there. Then my loop, I'm going to make a 5.5 inch loop. So I'm going to do this the same way, where I'm just putting it in here, and then I'm giving it a little twist, and then setting it down in there. And then I'm going to measure out to 5.5 inches. Sorry if I bumped the camera, I don't mean to. Okay, so that's probably about 5.5 inches. Okay, now you can either just leave your Bowdabra setting there and then go on to this side, but I'm weird, so I turn it. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm right-handed, and I just feel more comfortable doing it this way. So this same side also 5.5 inch loop. So I'm just gonna stick it in here and kind of give it a little twist so I can put it down in there, and then moving it where the tin is, moving it over to where it's at least 5.5 inches. So we'll say about right there. And then my tail, it's 9.5 inches, so I'm going to measure this down. If I can get it out of my way here, find my scissors. Measure this down to 9.5 inches. Move this out of the way. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my dovetail on here. Okay. So that's for the first layer of the bow. Okay, next I'm going to move on to, and I like to either put a rubber band around my ribbon or just hold it with a straight pin. Just depends on how I can get it in there. Sometimes it's easier just to put a, that's good enough, as long as it holds it, to put a rubber band on there. But okay, so the next one, I'm going to go ahead and go with the deer print. And I'm just doing this the same way. The only thing is that I am shortening my ribbon tails by 1/2 inch, and I'm shortening my loops by 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead, you just fold the ribbon in half, and then you cut from the fold up to the wired edge, and that gives you the dovetail. Okay, so we had 9.5 inch tails, so we're just going to go to 9 inches. So this next tail would be a 9-inch tail. I'm going to put that down in, and then our loops were 5.5 inches, so we're going to make them 5 inches. Okay, there's 5 inches. And I'm turning this around, putting it back on the tin. And the reason why you twist is because this ribbon is printed. So I'm wanting to keep, when you twist it, it turns it around so that your print is on the right side. Okay. Move this over. And this was at 5 inches. Okay. And then our tails will be 9 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my dovetail. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so the next one, I think, I don't know if I want to do gold, red, or black. I think I'll go ahead and do, I think I'll do the gold one next. So, I'm going to find the end of it, where it's taped. May have to cut it. Okay. I'm going to dovetail this one the same way, just folding it in half. Okay, so our last tail was 9 inches, so this one's going to be 8.5 inches. So, bring it over here, 8.5. There. And then it'll be a 4.5 inch loop. Get that to stay in there. And then I'm turning my Bowdabra. Measuring it to about 4.5 inches, and then cutting my tails to 8.5. Okay. Next, I think I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the red. Red will be next. The same way. So this will be a 8-inch tail. 8 inches. Put that down in there. This will be a 4-inch loop. Around this way. Get this thing to lay in there flat. Okay. 4 inches, and then this will be an 8-inch tail. Okay, and we're down to one more ribbon. And that will be this black one. Okay, so this is going to be a 7.5-inch tail. And this will be 3.5-inch loops. Turning my Bowdabra around. Okay. I need to move this one down just a smidge more. Okay, so now that I have that like that, I roll up my ribbon here. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and I am going to do my best to take out my bow here without it all falling apart. But it should all come together in like one little section here. But you're going to take your pipe cleaner and I'm just going to fold it in half. And then I'm taking it and putting it right down the center of my bow. And then I'm flipping my bow over and I'm just going to twist the pipe cleaner. I'm going to twist it, probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. You want it on there pretty good. Okay, so there's that. Now I know it doesn't look like much right now, but I'm going to fluff the bow out and then I'm going to be adding it to my wreath. Now, I'm sure everybody could probably figure out how to fluff your bow. But all you're doing essentially is starting with your first ribbon and you're just pulling your tails opposite directions, and then your loops, you're going to pull them opposite direction, and then you're going to go to the next ribbon that you did. Same thing. You're just going to pull them in opposite directions. Got this loop here, and this loop here. And this does work a lot better if you have like a bow fluffing board, which I do not have, but you can still kind of figure it out. It's not too difficult.